He's a great example of it. But another one is Asmongold.
Okay.
He's been getting more and more political. And I hear this. I just want to shove my nuts in a waffle iron when I hear this shit. Because like, what are you saying? What are you saying? You know.
The Vanguard will be there, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we wanted to discuss while we wait for the big reveal, and you know what? Maybe the Lord will smite me down and Candace Owens will prove me wrong. But a lot of people yesterday, as Gavin mentioned at the top of the hour, were asking us about this beef that has kind of erupted between Kyle Kulinski and Asmongold. They've been taking extreme shots at each other, and I think it originated with this video from Kyle Kulinski. Make it stop. Asmongold shatters the dipshit meter. And we're going to take a look at Asmongold's response to this here in 1 second. But I wanted to point out to everyone that the little rats, the cockroaches from the Asmongold community have come and raided the ever-loving shit out of this Kyle Kulinski video. It's got 33,000 downvotes as opposed to 19,000 upvotes. And all of the top comments, I'm sad to say, are just like weird simping for Asmongold. So this one says Asmongold can be dumb at times, but he's 100 times better than an idiot that thinks he's smart. Loved how you proved him wrong on absolutely nothing. What a disgustingly misrepresentative video. Holy cow, how did you lose a debate to yourself? So clearly, there's been a concerted effort from Asmongold's audience to fire back. And then here, Gavin, we hear that the man himself has also fired back. I know you had a good timestamp for when Asmongold goes in on Kyle, but what was your reaction when they first started exchanging blows?
I mean, I'm not surprised that Asmongold has succeeded in like ratioing Kyle in his video with his community, because Asmongold is absolutely massive on YouTube. Dude has an insane amount of subscribers. And much like Nick Fuentes, he is one of those people where if you come for him, his subscribers, his followers will come for you. That's one thing we've even noticed on our channel. Not that it stops us from doing it, but whenever we mock Nick Fuentes or make fun of Nick Fuentes, the video gets ratioed. A bunch of his minions come into the comment section to, invade it and downvote the video and say a bunch of slurs and call us homosexuals or whatever the fuck you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing with Asmongold, where he has a very active and passionate fan base. Also, weirdly, one thing I was thinking about this morning is it does seem like a lot of MAGA is in like an anti-Trump mood right now. They're kind of turning on Trump. It's never been more in vogue or more acceptable to just straight up criticize Donald Trump, as Marjorie Taylor Greene has obviously proven. It doesn't seem like that's quite has reached the Asmongold fucking community, weirdly. I'm a little bit confused about that, because it seems like the Asmongold community, for whatever reason, is still pretty hardcore pro-Trump. And if you guys remember, Asmongold also was the guy who was like, Palestinians deserve to be genocided and stuff. So it doesn't seem like the whole anti-Israel thing has really reached the Asmongold space yet. It doesn't seem like they've quite jumped on that, we fucking hate Israel and therefore also Donald Trump because he's an Israeli, asset, or the Israelis have dirt on him, the Epstein stuff, all this kind of dots that other people have put together. I don't know why, but it just seems like Asmongold is still kind of in he's still living in fucking a year ago or something.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I would take a stab at it, because you're totally right. He still is kind of just rah, I want more deportations. I don't care how brutal ICE is. I want ICE to be more brutal, right? And he did have all the comments that, were literally saying Palestinians should be genocided. But I'm wondering if the reason why his audience is unmoved by the Israel stuff and unmoved by the Epstein stuff is because at the bedrock of Nick Fuentes' ideology, and I think Candace Owens' ideology, and even people like Tucker Carlson's ideology, is Christian nationalism. And the Christian nationalism leading to kind of anti-Semitism, right? We can talk about how there's two kinds of really ardent evangelicals in this country, right? The ones that really want the embassy to be in Israel because they think that's how the Lord will save them when the rapture comes. And then there's another kind of really, really radical people on the evangelical spectrum, and they think the Jews killed Jesus. So they fucking hate Israel and they hate the Israelis, and they want the United States to take back over control of Jerusalem and have it be governed by Catholicism and shit. Okay. And that's the school of thought that I think that Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have really connected themselves to. I would imagine that Asmongold, as far as I know, is an old-fashioned white supremacist atheist, right? He doesn't have an anchoring to a religion, and I think that might just have him be like, why the fuck do I care about these brown people? I'll side with Israel. They're white people.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That would just be a shot in the dark, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a better guess than anything I can come up with. And it's not like I really study Asmongold, like I study some of the other characters we discuss. Admittedly, I'm so annoyed by his insufferable fucking personality and complete lack of talent that I'm so turned off by him. I can't even like fucking watch his show in the same way that I can like someone else that we would talk about more that I disagree with. I don't know. But either way, yeah, where do you want to start with? Do you want to take a look at this clip? Or
we can actually start from the top of whatever you've got pulled. I just had this from Yeet, because Yeet, obviously the like TMZ for Twitch streamers, and he blew this up and it started to go viral on Twitter. And I imagine that also contributed to Kyle Kulinski, deciding to engage a little bit more, and Asmongold, firing back and all that shit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I think, in my opinion, there's like a few minutes here worth watching. There's one more timestamp that I had just as proof of what lazy kind of gotchas Asmongold is pulling on Kyle here in these attempts to like disprove everything he says. As we saw in the comments, someone was like, Asmongold disproved everything Kyle said. But I'll show you an example of how flimsy that is in a second. But this is pretty funny too. I was just mentioning how untalented Asmongold is. Compare him to Kyle and how funny Kyle is effortlessly. This is pretty interesting. And again, Asmongold is just fucking sucks. I hate him.
This guy crashed out about, I guess this is like a clip that I did. I am apparently the dumbest person to him.
One of the things that's been driving me crazy more and more lately is when you have people who have large audiences who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they're just desperate to start giving their political takes and opinions.
Okay.
Because, look, you do a massive disservice. You have this giant audience of people who follow you. And if you're out there...
The disservice is disagreeing.
Spreading false notions of politics, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. The best example of this is fucking Joe Rogan, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. But he's out there. He was at the inauguration. He gave Trump a softball interview. Gave J.D. Vance a softball interview. Fucking hot.
Didn't give you an interview. I can see why you're mad.
Stone massages every billionaire in the country on his show regularly. But then he'll go on his show and, so, who, me, bro? I'm just like a centrist. I'm like, I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm sort of above the fray and stuff. Like, it's whatever. He tries to do this enlightened centrist bit. Meanwhile, he's like,
I thought this was about me. Let's get to the part about me.
On the Trump train, quite literally. So... he's a great example of it. But another one is Asmongold. Asmongold, he's been getting more and more political. And I hear this. I just want to shove my nuts in a waffle iron when I hear this shit. Because like, what are you saying? What are you saying? You know.
See, you can't even come up with a funny comeback to that. He just got outclassed by Kyle in the Department of Humor with a brilliant expression, like, put my nuts in a waffle iron. And he's okay. Like, as if that, isn't funny? As if everyone's not laughing hysterically at Kyle's, a comedic genius. I'm just kidding. But still, it is funny. People love Kyle for that shit.
All I can think of when I see Asmongold is that he is every single guy that I delivered pizzas to at 2:00 in the morning when I worked for Sarpino's. I mean, every single guy that orders pizza at 2:00 in the morning on like a Wednesday night looks like Asmongold. And so I have a visceral familiarity with the odor that must emanate from that man's desktop, because I still remember when these dudes would open up their doors and you could see trash bags that they hadn't even taken out, and you've got like fucking takeout everywhere, other pizza boxes, Mountain Dew bottles lying around, and the fucking stench. It's taking me there right now. I can only see this much of Asmongold's background, and I'm already getting a headache because I'm just, wow, I can smell it.
Yeah, no, you're so right about that. And again, let's just skip forward a second to this other timestamp because this is an example of Asmongold disproving a Kyle assertion. And just this makes you want to pull your hair out because it's just so stupid. It's so low IQ. But let's take a look.
Trump has been bombing random dinghy fishing boats with innocent people in them.
How do you know that? You really think? What about the submarine? Was that a fishing submarine too? Do you really think that they're blowing up? Really think that they're fishing boats? This is an innocent fishing submarine. Don't you guys have those? With 4 motors on them.
It's illegal in international waters to occupy or to use a submarine. Are you freaking crazy? What about when fucking what's his name, James Cameron gets in a little submarine and looks to go film around the Titanic? Then Donald Trump can just decide to blow him out of. It's got 4 engines. You know, it looks a little suspect. Actually, look, I'll show you some. That could be a bomb. That could be. It could be a bomb. And if you're the president of the United States and you're looking at a bomb under the water, well, you're going to probably blow it up.
Yeah. And I mean, he immediately has to like pivot to talk about the submarine, which Kyle doesn't even bring up. Kyle was talking about the fishing boats or whatever, not a submarine. So I don't even know about this submarine. Maybe it was a drug submarine. Maybe it wasn't. I don't really know about that. It's not even what Kyle's referencing from what I can tell. But yeah, the onus is actually on the fucking government to provide proof, not Kyle. Like, they're the ones extrajudicially murdering random people that they're saying are drug dealers with no proof. So how are you gonna fucking hear Kyle say something and be like, how are you gonna make such an assertion with no proof? Where's your evidence that they're just fishermen? It's like that onus is on the fucking government, on the people doing the fucking murdering of these people who, yeah, maybe they're involved in the drug trade or some shit. Then show us the proof. If there is proof, then why hasn't it been shown? You think that would be the most obvious W ever for the Trump administration? Just like, oh yeah, here's some proof of the shit we're saying. They can't even do that. So yeah, Kyle has every right to ask these questions, considering how many innocent people have been swept up in U.S. imperialism. I mean, it wasn't that fucking long ago that we were just like abducting random fucking people from Afghanistan and Iraq, putting them in Guantanamo Bay, torturing the fuck out of them for no reason, getting false confessions out of them. Like, yeah, that was not that fucking long ago. It's still happening to this day. You think it's that crazy to suggest that maybe some innocent guy living in like the developing world could get swept up in our brutal fucking extrajudicial system of just punishing the rest of the world? Like, yeah, of course that happens. It does happen all the time.
Not only that, a guy like Asmongold will then have the balls, the fucking audacity to turn around in another argument and be like, I'm just a constitutionalist. I'm just a guy that believes in the Constitution. I just believe in what our founding fathers said when they set out. Oh, I love the Constitution. That's what I believe in. Everybody has rights. Oh, well, like the right to not be extrajudicially killed, the right that even if you are in the act of committing a crime, that you get to be found guilty in front of a jury of your peers and then sentenced by a judge with laws and habeas corpus. Okay, those are all things that you claim are near and dear to you, but you'll throw them right out the fucking window as soon as you have to simp for Daddy Trump.
Yep. Let's hear a few more seconds of this fucking garbage.
And by the way, so let me get this straight. So the U.S. government can read a license plate with a satellite from outer space, but you think that a Twitter post that said that the people were innocent is more accurate than that? Sure.
And nobody on the right has been criticizing it at all.
Because they agree with it, because it's the right thing to do. It is. Absolutely. Blow up the boats. Without even a question. How could you be against that?
What?
I mean, these are people that are trying to bring drugs to our country that are going to kill our people.
Listen to this shit.
If I saw somebody running at my house with a bomb, I would want to shoot them before they got to my house. I wouldn't want to try to apprehend them.
This is like some like George Bush era like excuse for like the war on terror or something. Like, well, if those people were coming to kill you and your family, you would do the same thing. So therefore we have to invade Iraq. Just like some stupid bullshit.
The ticking clock analogy.
Yeah. Just like something to prey on your emotions and make you feel scared and be like, well, what if the scary brown people were knocking down your door right now? You too would probably resort to violence. So therefore, come on. Like, that's literally what he's doing. It's crazy.
Yo, it literally is the meme where it's like, I hate spaghetti. Now change spaghetti with minorities. Not so funny, is it? It's like you just completely made a different thing up.
Yep. So this is an example of this low effort, low IQ commentary. And again, this is like what we're up against, I guess, which is kind of depressing. And it kind of is like the Nick Fuentes thing too, where it's like, how do you really debate this level of bad faith content? How do you counter it? How do you debate it? There really is no way to destroy it other than just to mock it into oblivion, I guess. Because yeah, like, again, it's impossible to imagine a serious discussion or debate with this individual where he actually concedes anything or is willing to admit to his mistakes. Like Kyle is more than willing to do that. We've had debates with Kyle. Kyle's debated a lot of people, and I've seen him adjust his opinions in real time and evolve and, have, different cases reach him in different ways, right? Like Asmongold, I just can't imagine that. This guy is just a fucking idiot. As Kyle said, he knows he's a fucking idiot. He's just grifting. He's just telling the worst, dumbest people on the planet what they want to hear for money, and he's succeeding at it because he has fucking 4.1 million subscribers. He's huge on other platforms too, like Twitch. This dude, along with Nick Fuentes, really is going to inherit the conservative ideological movement, which is really fucking bleak.
It's really bleak, but it's something we've talked about. Kind of makes sense if you understand that America is like a pendulum that swings, right? Like this, and then it swings back again. And it's not going to make sense because Donald Trump himself was a fat, oafish piece of shit. But the MAGA movement really embraced a lot of guys that were mindset guys. They're like, I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. and conquer my inner bitch because I'm a man. I'm going to go run 100 miles. And it's like, why are you running 100 miles? Because I'm a man, and I'm not going to eat anything but salted meat, even though it's put me in the hospital 100 fucking times and I'm about to lose my life. And that was what I swear to God, when Gavin and I were coming into adulthood, like 17, 18.
Like the Jordan Peterson stuff.
All that
crap.
Rogan stuff.
Liver King.
The Liver King. What's that? Jocko Willnick guy was everywhere. David Goggins. Take your pick. These were all of those guys. Make your fucking bed. Go run 100 miles. Get strong. Conquer pussy. Bah! That's what everybody was saying to you for 10 long, hard years. Gavin and I were like, I guess we just have nothing to connect to with mainstream male culture because that all sounds terrible to us. And now, again, the right-wing male culture, still nothing that I can relate to because it's like live in your mom's basement and be disgusting and live with rats and be filthy and have no goals and no aspirations and be proud of that and decide that just because you were shit out on the right patch of dirt and you don't have the skin tone of your preference, that's somehow an accomplishment, that's how somehow entitles you to shit. And you're so pathetic that other pathetic little grubby cockroaches come and fucking run up to you like you're their queen. And that's what Nick Fuentes and that's what Asmongold have done. They are the basement dwellers who have taken over the Republican Party because that's really all that's left for young people who go right wing. They're desperate. They have nothing going for them. And they're just sloppy, fucking disgusting, incelibate, spank bankers in the fucking basement.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's crazy to think that like there could be an even lower low than the likes of someone like Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson. But in retrospect, at least those guys were telling their fucking miserable audience to clean their fucking room. Like Asmongold is totally, he just, he loves the vibe. Same with Nick Fuentes. They both literally brag about just being like incels in their mom's basement who can't fucking clean up after themselves or whatever. At least Jordan Peterson was like, you should probably clean up your disgusting fucking room, you degenerate. And then maybe that was probably a necessary message for a lot of his fucking audience, to be completely honest. But and you'll see an example of Asmongold kind of leaning into this shit in one of these replies, I think, from Kyle, where Kyle tries to bring up the dead alarm or the dead rat alarm clock thing.
Here, they'll throw that up on screen so people can see.
Yeah, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but we'll see an example of that in a second.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Go ahead. I just threw this up here because it seems like Kyle has decided to continue the fight. They, go after each other multiple times on Twitter. Kyle says, my favorite part of this is if you don't look at the studies and objective data, I'm right and Kyle's all wrong. Add Democrat derangement syndrome to this. His other well-known ailment of shower derangement syndrome. So Kyle just going in on him for being a disgusting dork. And this is a part of the segment we didn't totally react to. But Kyle kind of comes back down here and summarizes it. He says, I like how he brushes past January 6th, where MAGA terrorists tried to coup the government and assaulted 140 cops like that somehow doesn't count. Then proceeds to bring up Antifa. Hey, Asmongold, how many people have Antifa actually killed? The answer is maybe one person. 23 have been killed in ICE Gestapo thug custody just this year. And you suck them off like they're heroes. Get a different hobby, dick about politics, and it shows.
Yeah. Pretty brutal. I saw one more. Here's Asmongold responding to a Kyle tweet. and saying this might have been the one. This is the one where Kyle posted the Rat King picture, which is pretty hilarious, and says Trump illegally bombs Yemen, Somalia, Iran, plots regime change in Venezuela, attacks 22 fishing boats, killing 83 people, all this stuff that's obviously true. And again, to some of MAGA's credit, I feel like, some of MAGA at this point would actually recognize this and be like, I saw, Rand Paul out here talking shit on Trump, and like Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously talking shit. Like, it does seem like this isn't crazy for Kyle to say. Even a lot of people in the Republican Party at this point have turned on Trump for similar reasons. So it is pretty crazy that Asmongold just doesn't even give a fuck. He doesn't even pretend to be anti-war. That really distinguishes him from a lot of the other more like populist Republicans or whatever. Yeah. But he said, "This is your second tweet so far about me today. Keep it up. This meltdown will make great content for my show tomorrow." And then Kyle says, "Remember when you use a dead rat as an alarm clock?" To which he just responds, "Yeah."
We have to show everybody this video too, because it is insane. You all hear about the dead rat alarm clock video. We're going to watch it together. We're going to show you that it's not made up at all.
Yeah, let's take a look at this because it is real. And he's not ashamed of it either. He just says, "Yeah," as if it's like something to be proud of or something. Where I think this is a pretty good comeback from Kyle. Because, if someone was clapping back at me and this clip was floating around to them, I wouldn't take it very seriously either.
Yeah. Get the dead rat out. I don't need to anymore. It doesn't smell bad. It would. The thing is, I used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock, actually, for my stream, because basically what happened was whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat, and then it would start smelling again, and then the smell would wake me up. So I would use the rat effectively as an alarm clock, and as soon as it got hot enough, it would wake me up, and then I would know, oh shit, it's time to.
You know what else works? An actual alarm clock that you can just fucking set on your phone in the clock app super easily. I'm like, why the fuck? Like, just use a clock. They exist for a reason. You don't have to fucking sit next to a dead rat and inhale its decomposing fumes all night, every night. But I guess that explains, where his brain's at. He's inhaled too much dead rat fume.
He kind of looks like he's inhaled too much dead rat fume. He kind of looks like Asmongold in another life. If you would have run into Asmongold when he was, 18 years old, I think you could have cast him as an extra in Harmony Korine's Gummo. I think he really has that look.
Still could, almost.
Honestly, you could. Harmony, you need to watch this guy's live stream and get inspired, man, because I would love to see what kind of a spoof you could do. But yeah, it really is just disgusting. And I don't know. The one thing that I do kind of appreciate about Asmongold, we've talked a lot of shit. It's time to give him his one flower. And that's that he really does embody everything that I think and feel about a conservative. Like that you are disgusting, that you are like a weird white supremacist, even though you have nothing going for you and you're delusional. And you live online, and because you have a lot of gold and clout in World of Warcraft, you somehow have warped your brain into thinking that you're special or sophisticated. And honestly, probably the hundreds of thousands of people watching you live stream has warped your brain into thinking that you're valuable. But the rest of us look at you and we see this guy, right? And I know that's how you market to your fans. They'll be like, well, the rest of the world thinks I'm a rat king, but I think I'm just like you. But at least to the rest of us, when we see the most prominent right-wing streamer, it looks like that and not some asshole that you might actually be confused into thinking is a healthy person.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And at least he doesn't pretend to be anything other than what he is, which is a disgusting fucking degenerate. But you're right. It is. I mean, it's even crazier. That being said, it's even crazier that, Asmongold did ratio Kyle on X. And you're right that Kyle's video got totally invaded by and taken over by Asmongold Simps, proving his popularity. It's not just like, astroturfed or whatever. Like, this guy genuinely does have an organic base of support, a lot of people that watch him. And he was already huge before he got into politics, which definitely helped. Maybe that's what Hutch was inspired by when he jumped into the politics world.
It's very weird what happens to these guys. And he went from being like, I don't want to say normal, right? But a somewhat healthier looking individual who was just like a shy guy that was really into World of Warcraft. Nothing wrong with that. To being a little hate monger, right? A guy that gins up racial fervor and defends Donald Trump's deplorable MAGA policy and cheerleads extrajudicial killings when fishermen are fucking killed off the coast of their country, not ours. Yeah.
Check out this meme.
Oh,
It absolutely is white people's land. It got conquered. It's been our land for hundreds of years. This is the kind of shit where you can't even tell if it's like supposed to be ironic or like actually like real, but I wouldn't put it past him. You know, they really think that Asmongold is a example of white superiority. That's the other thing. I'm like, imagine being a white supremacist, seeing Asmongold and being like, that's a worthy vessel of, you know, what my race has to offer. If anything, you'd be like, what the fuck, bro? You're not exactly putting the best foot forward for the white race here. You know, this is kind of cringy.
it's like Ethan Suplee in American History X. It's like, dude, you weigh 500 pounds and you're balding. What the fuck do you mean you're a white supremacist?
Which is why they have to put him in this cutout of like fucking Conan the Barbarian or whatever.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, make it look like he's a badass surrounded by anime girls because he can't actually pull any real fucking pussy. He has to fuck anime girls or
Dude,
look
he's
at
not
them.
fucking anything but his right-hand man right here. I'm going to be honest. That dude, honestly, Asmongold really strikes me as the kind of guy who might have a fleshlight. All right. I have a personal rule that if I find out you have a fleshlight, I can't be your friend anymore. But I've never had to exercise it before. Fortunately for me, you know, because it's not so much that I am anti-jerking off, but anytime you have to heat up some water, put that fucking thing in there. Like, imagine how dirty and disgusting your fleshlight would get after just one fucking use. He looks
clean
like
that shit.
he looks like the kind of guy that would have like a goon lab and like a real fleshlight and maybe even like a fucking like elven looking fake real hyper realistic sex doll. I mean, this guy's not getting out of his basement. I can only imagine what his Pornhub search industry looks like.
Yeah, he probably talks to the anime face on Grok, or you know how you can like get an anime girlfriend on Grok now if you pay like $90 a month or whatever. He's probably the first one to download that shit at the beta stage. He was like, "Fuck yeah!"
He has a concubine of AI girlfriends.
Yup. Oh god, that's the world we're living in now. But either way, yeah, there's an example of the white race for you in all of its glory. Listen, don't wear deodorant. That's a good one. No, that's a meme for you. But yeah, I guess we're just killing time now while we wait for this Candace Owens. That's funny. The scene from The Mummy where all the Beatles come out. God, we could literally just scroll this fucking thread for hours. That's funny shit. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. I'm glad Kyle's still taking shots at Asmongold, despite the fact that I guess Asmongold has even more fans or whatever.
But it doesn't hurt Kyle to go after Asmongold because he doesn't lose anybody from it. And so just for anybody who's in the audience, like, oh my God, Kyle got it doesn't make one bit of fucking difference to Secular Talk if he gets ratioed by a bunch of Asmongold fucking goons.
Right. Just like when we get ratioed by Nick Fuentes fans, it doesn't actually impact our fucking business. You know, it's not like, oh shit, we lost 500 subscribers that day. Like, no, nothing happens. Those people aren't in our fucking community anyway. Just like, you know, with the Asmongold folks and Kyle's community.
That's actually one of the strategies I had to build up our clips channel was I would always cut clips that I thought were going to really piss off right wingers. And then I would try and like thread the needle and be like, I want you guys to click on this and get really pissed off after you watch it. So that then you leave a comment and then I've got you clicking, watching, and leaving a comment. And then our people will just find it when they, you know, see it's us in there.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, people were saying that Amen Animations guy did a really good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Asmongold. Yeah,
I've heard it's good though.
Yeah.
I know that came out a while ago.
Yeah, I'm sure he's only fallen farther from grace. But after we watched that Ethan Klein Amen Animations video, blow Bill, lol.
Kyle's just on a fucking tear.
Dude, Kyle's the dude has a monopoly on the boomer meme outpost, but I love it.
Vindicated. Idiot kid thinks Trump is gay.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be